Oh, start drawing. What we gonna draw? We are gonna draw eyes. Eyes. So somebody once asked me, how do you draw eyes? But they want like to know the expression, right? It's like, yeah, how do you draw good expressions? Happy, sad, whatever, whatever. You know, what do you do? How do you make that work? You know, and I told them like a lot of drawing is like really understanding anatomy and physics. Like even if you're drawing in a cartoony style, you gotta understand that like the eye itself is a ball, right? It's like almost a perfect sphere. The expression don't come from the eye; it comes from the skin and the muscles moving around it. So you got this eyeball. Let's go in, and so we put a lid right here. You know, and you do the eye. So then you got all this stuff around it. Depending on how you move that, you got an expression. Let's make this into an eyebrow. I know whenever I started drawing eyes, I come from here, and so where we going next? So there's different kind of eyes. You got. I've been getting back into like really like cartooning. So it's kind of like the cartoon eye, and you can do your eyes like really realistic. And a lot of times, like when I was doing realism, I would start that eye, like I would do the eyeball. You know, then you just gotta get like, you got this thing right now, super realistic. You know, and think about drawing. What is drawing? Drawing is layers. So like when you start drawing, that's why people like I can't draw. I'm like, look, man, you can draw a simple shape like a square or a circle or a triangle. You can draw. The trick is with drawing, like ain't no shortcuts. If you want to be good, you gotta put in that time. And you gotta work. You're not gonna get good overnight. You really gotta work. So, but the simple thing is, if you can draw this circle. First of all, with drawing, you gotta open your mind to concepts. So, what's the concept? The concept is you think of basic shapes, but you gotta manipulate shapes, and a shape don't have to be a triangle, square. A shape could be anything. Like this is the shape of, you know, a hand, even though it's only 3 fingers. So let's go back. You got this circle. We want to make an eye. You break it down to the basic shapes first. So I got this circle, make it rough, and so I want to make the eyelid. You can just like do this, like make kind of like an oval situation, and then you put the half circle in there. You're not that savvy. Let's go back and say, like I want to break that all the way down. Got the circle. Well, kind of put like this situation. So this is probably like, you're not really good at lines. You can do this. But then it's about layers. So that's like the first layer, right? So we can do it like this. We could actually it's funny, I only just realized this. They put the layers in the drawing apps. And completing the actual drawing, it's about adding layers on. So I won't change. I'll put another layer on there. We change this to black. So when you go your second layer, you want to morph this. And you put this basic shape. I don't know what this would be called in terms of what shapes it is. You start with the circle, you put this, but you want to form this eyelid. When you go in, you put that curve in there. Now, and you basically tracing over the lines you already made, but you adding definition. You're kind of manipulating the shape to suit your needs. See what I'm saying? That's why when you see a lot of initial sketches, it's a little sloppy all over the place. I like to be sloppy with my sketches because it gives me more line options, and then you get this like when you get your hand to be loose and you can just draw more freely, it gives your artwork a real fluid quality. You don't want your stuff looking stiff. You don't want, especially if you're doing like comic books. Like I'm a comic book artist, so when I'm doing, it's crazy because you would do a fight scene in a comic book, and I grew up reading a lot of comics where it was boring because it's very posy, it's very stiff. It didn't feel like fluid motion, you know. And like even when you want to draw, let's go back to the red layer. Let's see the black layer. You see that? Bam. See that shape is kind of different. It's not quite like that. But we got that on top of that. Let's go back to we're gonna do the other part of the eye. So we're in here. Maybe we're gonna do like this. Bam. Get these lines in here, and then like this, like this. You always gotta have this. I like to do this. That little glisten of light in the dark of the eye and the black of the eye. It's, for me, especially as a comic artist, it's like a focal point. Like the eye is already a focal point, but then it's like extra focal, whatever that means. So put the black on there, switch to the black, and just round it out. Round it out, round it out, round it out. Color this in. We got the eye. I'll take this off. Wait. Well, I colored it in. I make this mistake all the time. I color the black in on the red. Let's go back. Messed up. That's the beauty of digital art. Like, it's more forgiving with mistakes. Do it over. Turn this upside down. I just spent a year going back traditional, and that really improved my line work. But when you go digital, it's like, it's weird. The texture is different. It feels different. It just feels strange. Sometimes you just gotta get a piece of paper and practice just drawing lines and creating effects. Now let's check that out. Bam. See, we got ourselves an eye. Let's go back to the red, cut this black off. So, yeah, there's that. I'm not switching. Let's move this out the way. So as far as like expressive eyes, like sometimes I deal with that with the one eye. It's like you really want to deal with the two. I kind of like do it at an angle sometimes, but get the face straight on. Like even when you just loose. And a good exercise for learning how to draw loosely, you gotta learn how to sketch. Everybody wants to draw. What's the difference between sketching and drawing? All right, drawing is this. That's what drawing is. You see that line? Pulling straight, that's drawing. Okay? That's what drawing is. What is sketching? Sketching is, I want those same lines, bring it down. Light. See how light you can go. Go as light as you can, where you can be soft, loosen your wrist. Now, how they taught us this, if you want to practice loosening your wrist, loosening your hand, so that you can sketch, what you want to do is, you don't have to get an easel, or maybe you're at your desk, stand up, You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up, and you grab the bottom of your pencil. Now, if you're on an iPad or something, you can still do this. I'm gonna do it with the iPad right now. You stand up and you draw, but you gotta hold the bottom of the pencil, like where the eraser at. So it's kind of like it's loose. Like you lose a lot of control, but it's a good exercise. So let me move all this out the way. We're gonna do the eye like this. Excuse me, excuse me. I had a lot to drink. Not alcohol, but so we're gonna look. I got the bottom of the eye pencil, Apple pencil, what do they call it? And look, very very loosey, very goosey. You know, loose. Grab the bottom of your Apple pencil, the bottom, like where the cap comes off, and you got to plug it in. I don't have the. I got the first pencil. I don't got the one you can just stick on the machine and charge it. So then, yeah, this forces you to sketch. It really does. You get all these lines. These lines are options. It's messy. These are options. These are lines you can pick from. Yes, that's what you want. Oh, you see, the eyes this round sphere, and the lids come over it. You know, almost like a diamond shape. Maybe instead of doing this, whatever we got over here, you can just do this. You know, reinforce and make a lot of lines, because then when you put on your second layer, you don't have to pick all these lines. Now, this is a real pencil and a real piece of paper. The beauty of all these lines is it smears, so you're drawing a realistic picture, right? You want all this. That's how cross-hatching begins, you know. You want all that. So, I'm still holding the bottom. I'm not cheating, I promise. See, and look, we're getting that in there. This is great practice. Practice this. Do this. And don't do it. Don't do it on your device first. Don't do it on your tablet. Get a pencil and a piece of paper. You know, and if you got a good drafting desk, or if you can get an easel, you almost want to feel like you're painting. You know, and just come up with their strokes. And it's gonna loosen up your hand. It's gonna loosen up your hand. Get your hand real loose and fluid. You know. That's great practice, but not just with eyes, with anything, you know. So, because I don't know how many times I could draw the same eye, you know. So how about let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get in here. We're gonna get in here, okay. Now, depending on what you want to do, basically, you get this oval going, almost like an egg shape. And we all seen this before, right? This is the head. Draw a line straight through it. I'm still holding the bottom of this eye pencil. So this the middle. And these are basic. Now this is physiology. This isn't just for drawing. This is real. In the physical world, it might be askew a little, you know. It's not exact. But for general purposes, this is real physiology as far as where things are located. The proportions of the face. So you draw this line straight through the middle, vertical, horizontal. And you got the eyes right here. Let's do the ball, right? You got the eyes right here, right? So we're just making up stuff. So right in the middle, between the eyes and the chin, the bottom of the chin, right in the middle. Let's be rough with it. Okay? Right here you got the nose. Now see, I'm a black man, so I'm drawing black people. So look, we're gonna do circle for that nose. You know, we're gonna get a good black nose, right? So in between the bottom of that nose to the middle again, that's where the lips lie, right? Check this out. In the space between the nose and the eyes, that's the length of the ears. This is real shit. Go look at yourself in the mirror or look at somebody else and do these measurements. This is real. The length between your brow and your nose is roughly the size of your ear, you know? And your lips should be in between your, right? And, so look, so I'm tempted to just hold this right because I want to get in there, so just practice, just do this. And this is the practice and the dedication of being an artist, especially if you're drawing. You really want to put these hours in, and you really just want to waste paper. And this is just honing your craft. I guess it's good now that we got these devices, because I could just practice all I want and throw this away. I could just delete it. But, sometimes you want to keep it so you can look at it and analyze what you did, things of that nature. But now here we go for the mouth. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. So we got this straight line for the mouth, right? Here we go. Put a line up here, line up here. So it's kind of like, and then go down right here, right? It's like a distorted M. This is what I mean about shapes. Manipulating shape to give the appearance, the perception of 3D images. That's all you're doing. That's what drawing is. That's what sketching is. So let's really craft this. Triangle here, right? Triangle here, right? Now I'm not so at the bottom of the pencil. Now I'm just like towards the middle. I gotta get in there, And let's say I meet it right here. All right. So then you can do a box right here. See this box? Right there, right there. Now we got some lips. And this is just basic stuff. As you advance, this is very stringent. Very stringent. I've been doing a lot of like messing around with mouths, because mouths move a lot, and the shape of a mouth can warp depending on how you're talking and moving your lips. This is just basic stuff. So, we're gonna get into the nose. What I like to do is like draw the holes of the nostril. These are like little ovals. So you want to get real crazy. You get over. This would be difficult when you just draw the shape of the nose. Now I'm kind of cheating from what I'm saying I was doing. And the nose kind of comes out like this, and then it goes down and under. It's like the nose goes into itself. Filling those holes. So we're gonna get up to these eyes. All right. There's always a slant. It's like this point right here goes in deeper. That's a basic. You notice that about eyes once you start drawing them. The more eyes you draw. And if you're learning, even if you're trying to draw comics, you're gonna be cartooning. Practice on realism. Practice on realism, because it's gonna up your cartooning game. Because basically, realism is you adding on all these extra layers. You're adding on all these extra layers and making it look real, right? Cartooning is you stopping early in that process. So basically, me cartooning, I put on this first layer of sketch, and I might put a second layer of like more defined sketch, which is the darkened lines. But then when you go on and really, that third layer is when you really go deep into, okay, you're defining the features of this face. That's where probably you would stop. And then you would ink on top of that. If you're real savvy, you could just go in with the inks and skip those layers, and, skip right to the end layer. If you're real good, you can just do a light something like this, throw it in there, If you're really good, you can do that. Now, this is crazy, right? And you might want to practice this too, So, but me, I can do that. So throw the black on there, throw the other layer on there. switch to black. Now I can go in, I can make something out of this. And these would be my final lines, as a cartoonist. But, it took, so I'm making me a whiteboard right here. It took years of studying realism. And I knew why I was studying realism. I wasn't studying realism for realism. So at the same time, I was still drawing and working on my comics. But I wanted to be good. I was trying to get better as an artist, honing my craft. Because I never liked doing portraits. But when I was like 9 or 10, my mom introduced me to a guy she knew that could draw. And portraits was his thing. He wasn't a cartoonist. So he taught me how to draw portraits with the proportions and kind of everything I'm showing you guys here. That's what he showed me. Now that's kind of rough. You can take that off. Bam, add some details. It's kind of skewed. I don't know who this person is. He might look better with some facial hair. Now he looks like somebody. Not like I should care about who he is. Some discount John Wick feeling. I'm just kidding. Let's go back here. Take that off. Bam. So that's kind of how you want to approach it. So just to recap, you can draw basic shapes. You can get in there. And, maybe you want to start with basic shapes and get you a how-to book, but you really want to get into the realism game. Start drawing still life and look at something and see the shapes in it. So, we're doing eyes right now. Let's step into a hand, and not really because you would never not struggle with hands. I'm gonna just tell you this right now. I don't care how good you get at hands when you feel like you can really. So look, this is like some skewed kind of square, and I'll break a hand up like this. Just kind of like the knuckles with it. Look, rectangle, another rectangle, then another one. Just the square at the bottom. Just I will break this up like that. And these are your fingers. It looks very. I think anybody could kind of do this. Maybe it might look worse than what I'm doing now. But this is just practice. Like, imagine if you drew 5 pages of this hand. You got to be dedicated like that. And so, maybe you don't want to just draw hands all day. I would draw hands. Or I used to draw hands all day. And draw eyes all day. Then I'll mix it up, draw eyes, draw a mouth. You have all these different things. You got to know, okay, I'm finna warm up or I'm finna practice. So you got this. This is just the basic. So, you want to start rounding stuff out. Just the knuckle. Put that on top of that right there. Now, so you got this kind of shape, almost like a diamond that's not finished for the knuckles of the hands, versus the knuckles on the finger, or joints, what you want to call them, And this is me doing cartoon and stuff, making these prominent, round this off up here, round this off. Everybody got sharp fingers, even round it. There you go, just like that. That's how that works. I'm on my Bob Ross thing right now. We're going to do it like that. See, you even round this out, because we don't have all that sharpness in reality. So you got to start rounding stuff out with that little something right there. Round this out, you start forming a hand right here, Even, so you put a line right there, kind of like a half circle, fingernail. Line right there, half circle, zoom in. Line right there, half circle. Line right there, half circle. One more. Finish off the thumb. Gotta make the thumb nail a little bigger. There we go. So what I'm gonna do, it's kind of sketchy. Give me a lot of line options. Go in there, put on the next layer. Finna lay my inks down. It's not real ink. It's just the black line. We're gonna stick with the terminology. It's real Comic Son. Lay the inks down, and I can choose what I want. Choose what I want. I'll curve it a little. Curve that nail a little to make it match. And you might not choose the lines because I just put a line down that wasn't an option. But it's still, And then check this out. Because you got these little, let's get sketchy. These lines on the knuckles. This is just to add effect. You got to do, especially when you cartooning, you got to do little details like that. Add some texture. Give some depth to your drawing. Look, there we go. See, it's not that difficult. It'll take some practice to master your line work. And you know what? If you're older, it'll be easier because you'll grasp the concepts faster. When I was young and I was a kid, it took me months and years to grasp some concepts because I was, I was doing what the book was telling me, but I didn't grasp the concept behind what it was saying. They didn't explain it. They just said, do this and do that. And some stuff I'd discovered on my own, just from practice. You come across an effect or you just drawing or you in the vibe, you in the zone, and things just come out of you. And you like, whoa, and a lot of stuff I picked up from inking other artists' work. Matter of fact, you want a good thing to do? And we're talking about realism. Get a photo, put it on here, and ink it. That's some realism. That's good practice. It's gonna teach you so many different type of shapes and textures because you're gonna try to ink that. And I'll show you that. I'll put up a photo. Maybe of myself. I'll take a photo of myself and put it up there. Now check this out. Look, I did it again, folks. I did it again. I can't even look. I keep doing this, but that's fine. I'm not even gonna take it off. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna post this. And it do what it do. I'm gonna organize this more, and I don't want to make it too stringent. That's not the type of teacher I am. I would just talk about kind of what I'm doing at the time and get into things like that. Well, I hope people enjoy this. Hope you find it useful. Till next time. I'm pressing the wrong stuff, y'all. I'm nervous. Real scared.